Meet one of Alberta's most adventurous father-daughter duos. Karl and Roseanna have been rescuing injured birds of prey for decades. Together, they do everything from rappelling down the sides of mountains to training birds for Pink Floyd music videos. It's that job you wish you had.
I'm a director at the Alberta Society Injured Birds of Prey, and I run the Strathcona Raptor Shelter, and we look after displaced wildlife. We started it in 87. I started doing birds in 83. It was illegal to keep captive wildlife before the early 80s. I think it was about 83 that they brought in the new wildlife regulations that allowed for wildlife rehab and for falconry. And so I joined the falconry club at that time, and but then we were getting injured birds at the Polar Park or the Alberta Game Farm, and they were of interest to me. I wanted to see how well they could fly after they'd been injured.
So is this your full-time job, though, or do you have a day job?
Everything I do now has to do with the raptor shelter.
What do you call a 24/7 job?
I don't.
Is that full-time?
I call that hell.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what you're doing, right?
I guess if you love it,
it's like being a mom or something. It's just a passionate thing. There's not a lot of money in it, but it's a labor of love, for sure.
Okay, so you decide that you want to help animals.
Yep.
And you form a society for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll assume that there's some paperwork that you filed and so forth, and it's all legal and of course. But then how do people start coming to you, and what do they come to you for?
Well, generally, it's birds that have been hit by cars. You can get runs of birds. It depends on what's going on. We might get a run in the winter when there aren't as many birds around, but of a specific species. But generally, we'll be busier in the spring during the migration or when things are fledging.
The phone rings and what?
Oh, well, the phone can ring at any time, and
I could start at 2 a.m.
First thing we'll tell you is, are you prepared to try and get it in a cardboard box? The raptors, when you get close to them, they'll flip on their back, and they don't generally bite. It's the feet you have to worry about. If you throw a blanket or a heavy coat over them, generally they'll grab hold.
What do you do with them when they're healthy?
We let them go.
Just back into the wild?
Yeah. They're like fine china, of course. You know, if they break, it's difficult to get them into a normal situation.
Mm-hmm.
But when we can, that's what we do. We let them go. We've got a number of them that we're going to let go this week.
And being out there in the wild is no cakewalk. It's tough.
No,
and we even have birds that we've released that break back into our facility.